Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk, sitting down with Ben Ross, getting ready for his fight going down April 27th for Three Rivers Throwdown promotion. How you feeling today?
Feeling good.
Yeah, you're coming off of a really good win, TKO win in the second round for your pro debut. How do you feel? How'd that make you feel starting your pro career off like that?
Felt good. My opponent came out. He was in good shape, and he was stronger than I thought he'd be, and he's a fairly formidable guy, and so it felt good to start off with a win.
Yeah, I mean, especially going against a guy who had that much depth in his pro record. He had seven pro fights already while you were making your pro debut, and to have a win over a veteran like that. I mean, going against your opponent, and I don't like him, so I'm not going to say his name. You can if you want to, but going against him, I mean, he has a bit more pro fights than you, I mean, but beating a guy who also has depth in your first pro fight, got to be a little bit of a confidence boost going against him, right?
Right. Yeah, and I had a pretty long amateur career. Wasn't as long as some guys, but I mean I had a fair amount of fights in my amateur career, and I mean I feel confident going to this one that I can beat this guy.
Yeah, no, you had 8 wins, 6 wins by finish. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you, I mean, I'm not gonna put words in your mouth or whatever, but is it safe to say that you're a finisher?
I try to be, yeah. Try
Yeah,
to be. I just try to win. That's all.
yeah. I actually started booing your opponent at his last fight. He claims to be the best wrestler in MMA.
God,
Period.
that's a tough title to back up for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ever want to make a claim like that.
Yeah, I mean, especially the seeing some of his wrestling ability, I definitely don't agree. What knowing that he believes that he's such a strong wrestler, what are some of the things that you've been doing to prepare for this fight?
Well, we've been doing a ton of wrestling in this camp, and I've been wrestling with some hungry wolves. There's some there's some pretty good guys I've been working with from the UWL wrestling team. I'll give a couple of them a shout out. Like Wesley Schultz, the dude I've been wrestling with a ton. He was D1 from what I understand before he went to UWL, and he's been pivotal. I feel like I've gotten quite a bit better this camp, and he's been a big part of the reason why that's happened. So I feel
Yeah,
confident in my ability to stop anybody's wrestling right now.
yeah. I mean, training with guys like that all the time. I mean, it's definitely gonna get you ready for that. I mean, and you had did you have a wrestling background at all?
No, I never wrestled. Never
Oh,
wrestled.
okay, so you first experienced it going into MMA. Not that's not always a bad thing, just because you are a fresh mind, willing to take in everything that's being taught to you and being able to learn how to adapt it for MMA also. Like that was one of my things that I didn't do very well. Adapt my wrestling for MMA wrestling. Like I would take a guy down right into a guillotine a lot of times.
Right.
You know.
I'll be the first to admit, I got a ton of room to grow and a ton of room to improve in that area.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that I'm not confident in what I can do right now for this fight.
Yeah. I mean, and then knowing that you or being humble enough to admit that you have room to grow is always going to have room to learn. When guys feel super confident in one area, they stop working in that area. I mean, if you have a mindset like that, you're always going to be working.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, okay, so we know that you've been training, getting ready for his wrestling, but sometimes when a wrestler goes into a fight, knowing that they can get the takedown at any time, or at least in his delusional mind, he believes that he can get the takedown at any time. Uh, Maybe it gives him a little bit of confidence to stand and bang for the first couple minutes. What have you been doing to prepare for that in case he does?
Well, I've always taken a lot of time to work on my striking. I mean, I feel confident that I've got my boxing's always been something I've worked on, and I feel that it'll be a strong point for this fight for sure.
Yeah. Um, Is there anyone that you'd like to shout out, thank, or anything that you'd like to say to your opponent in case he might hear this?
No, nothing like that. Not looking to trash talk anybody. He's I've never met the guy. I got nothing against him, but
Well, I've met him and I want to trash talk him. He's a fucking pussy, and I hate that guy.
May the best man win when we're out there, and should be a good fight. Obviously, want to thank everybody at Ironworks. It's been an awesome camp, and I honestly think we're gonna go out there and send a strong message come April 27th.
He doesn't need any of the smoke. Like I said, if you can't take this, inhale the smoke, don't talk about the smoke.